I definitely wanted to cover the situation involving Whole Foods getting a restraining order against animal rights groups, because this is one of the things that I've always kind of questioned when I go to a store and I see people protesting outside of a store. Are they protesting because of low wages or because of shitty business practices or things like this? But what's a store to do when it becomes too much? What's a store to do when it becomes problematic? And also, what's it going to do when your parent company is Amazon, right? So I thought this was pretty funny as just like a funny little story here. So it says that a Whole Foods store in Berkeley, California, because it could only happen like this in Berkeley, has been granted a restraining order against the vegan group Direct Action Everywhere, or DxE, which staged multiple protests at the store for several years. Yeah, I can understand that entirely. I can get that completely. Like, if you were getting protest nonstop by this group for years, you'd want to get that too. Now, the group dropped a banner with the words Occupy Whole Foods outside the store last month, but days before a scheduled week-long action where the group intended to raise awareness about alleged mistreatment of animals at Whole Foods supplier, the company filed a restraining order. Yeah, they're going to sit there and try to take over the freaking store for a week. Yeah, you can see why they'd want to definitely do that. Protesters were barred from even entering the parking lot of the store, but tried to attract attention from the sidewalk, where they held noise demonstrations while singing, beating drums, beating drums and chanting. Right? It's of course it's Berkeley. Of course you sit there. They're gonna beat their drums. You have to. All right, everyone. I wrote a new song. It's bung 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 bung. Occupy Whole Foods. Bung 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 bung. Stop animal abuse. That's follow along if you know it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do the drum beat myself. DxE, a group that advocates for total animal liberation, shared on its website the various reasons it decided to target Whole Foods. Look, Whole Foods is generally regarded as this like pro-earth, pro-local produce, pro all this shit like stuff, right? Like I lived in Portland, like Whole Foods felt like it was everywhere. It wasn't, but it kind of felt like, you know, that vibe was everywhere. And I went to a couple Whole Foods that were in Portland, and I'm just like, yeah, you know. It's a little bit too hipstery for me at points, but they're all about that kind of from the earth, non-GMO, non-pesticides, cage-free raised environment. Go from farm to table. That's kind of what it felt like. It was probably not true, but that's what it felt like anyway. Now, they said here, Whole Foods is not a progressive mom and pop shop. It's a corporate machine, one whose engine runs on stolen lives. Ooh, you gotta love the language there. The group also called Whole Foods alleged commitment to animal welfare standards a marketing ploy, which is entirely possible. I mean, but my question is though, like, was this before or after they were purchased by Amazon? That's a question, right? That's a question, because Amazon, you know, was viewed for a while as being this kind of like behemoth for, you know, like good, it felt like, right? And, oh, Amazon is investing billions of dollars into purchasing pharmaceutical companies so they can give discount prescriptions to people in need. Amazon is getting ready to do this where you can go and get a new job working for Amazon because it's taken over everything. Amazon. And you find out Jeff Bezos makes like $3 billion a month or something. And the employees at a lot of the distribution centers are almost like Walmart employees and effectively having to live on food stamps as well as working there because they can't get full-time wages and it's shitty working environment. So, I mean, if you're targeting one aspect of a company, why not target the whole company? This is one of the reasons why I have issues with these types of protests, because to me, they say we only care about one thing. Fuck everybody else. But we only care about this one thing. And I think if you're going to, you know, if you're going to call it's commitment to animal welfare standards a marketing ploy, why not talk about its lack of commitment to human standards for employees? I'm not saying that they've done bad things. I'm just saying, like, from what I've read, where like you would hear stories about like there would be water bottles full of piss because people can't stop and use the bathroom because if they took any time off of work, they get docked in points or something. Like it's some really sketchy shit every once in a while. But anyway, I digress. Now, last September, The Intercept reported on a 4-month investigation led by DxE into a Whole Food supplier. The group accused Pittman Family Farms, a supplier of free-range chicken to Whole Foods in 6 states, of lying about free-range activity on the farm, saying we couldn't find a single bird outside. Wayne, who's suing, co-founder of the group, told The Intercept. The group also claimed to have evidence of debeaking. Ooh. Okay, that's no good. I'm not like, look, that's no good. But at the same time, if you've got that, all right, if you've got this information, if you've got this evidence that this Whole Food supplier, this Pittman Family Farms, is not doing what they say they're doing, then take it to the media, right? Like, take it to local media. This is taking place in Berkeley of all places, right? Everyone's got Birkenstocks and smells like BO and weed. Okay, like, these are the people that are going to be like, debeaking, man. That's not cool, man. Let's go to the media, man. What are we talking about? Like, you know, you could go to the media there and you could raise a stink. So, but by trying to occupy a Whole Foods, like one Whole Foods in Berkeley, it just feels like wasted effort. You could do much better by getting a media play, you know, on the media. You do the media there. Anyway, Whole Foods said it filed for a restraining order with the Alameda County Superior Court because the group's actions prevent customers from making purchases. That's just true. They say here that DxE members have repeatedly entered our stores and property to conduct demonstrations that disrupt customers and team members by blocking access to our aisles, departments, and cash registers, interfering with our business, and putting the safety of both customers and team members at risk, a spokesperson for Whole Foods said. DxE has claimed our members have carried out a number of actions in the stores, including a teach-in. Now, that's a new one. What the fuck's a teach-in? Gather around, children. We're going to tell you the story of how Chicky the chicken lost his beak in a non-free range cage environment at Pittman Family Farms. It's going to be a wild ride, but you're going to want to warn the little children. It's going to get a little fucking violent. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. Anyway, the group also targeted the company during Thanksgiving 2016 in protest of turkey sales. Yeah, I know. They always want to save the turkeys. But then if they save the turkeys, how will one get into my belly? Okay, so jokes aside, you know, I understand why they're upset. I understand why the activism group wants to act. I get that. Okay. But it's all about optics and it's all about how you do it. That's usually what it boils down to. People like this that are just like, let's target Whole Foods and let's go in and disrupt their business in order to draw attention, ultimately fails in their goal. And the reason why is because the customers that are there, they don't care. The customers that are there at a Whole Foods, they may act like they care. Like, oh, I just really want, like, I want to know that my beef wasn't caged, that it lived a good, healthy life, that it was spiritually sound and complete in its soul, that its chakras were aligned. Like, that's the kind of thing they want. They want to feel like everyone is like Hemlock Moonwolf. You know what I mean? Jeff Holliday's character. They all want to be like that. And when they go in there, but they don't care enough because the food is they still have to eat. They still have to, you know, collect sustenance. And then at the end of the day, they shit it all out like everybody else. But these groups, you go to the media, you create a shitstorm in the media, you get their attention on it, then you create public pressure and you put public pressure on the company. And that's usually what happens here. But just these demonstrations where they go and disrupt things inside the store are just ridiculous because you're not going to, by getting people upset, you're not going to change their mind, right? Like there's not going to be some like highfalutin San Francisco liberal that's going to walk into a fucking Whole Foods and be like, Moira, what is all this ruckus about right now? You know, and like, oh, well, we're doing a teach-in to stop people from buying these debeaked, you know, whatever. And they're like, oh, let's leave and go to Albertsons where it's better. Well, that's not going to happen. Or if it does happen, it's extremely rare. So yeah, Whole Foods, totally support them getting a restraining order on this case because it's their business and they have a right to, well, sell products in their business, and the customers have a right to not be harassed inside there as well.